So my psychiatrist has been prescribing antipsychotics, and I don't think they're working. What do you think? He said I had a dark side, so I killed the motherfucker. But before he died, he gave me a lot of advice. And he told me to get in touch with my inner child, so I decided to start out a little slowly. So I started touching my inner child. And now I keep waiting for the police to show up. I mean, it's not like I'm perverted or anything, okay? I'm just fingering him a little bit. You know, that's all. He likes it. Are there any lesbians in this place?
Yo!
Thank you. Excellent. Oh, you're pretty butch dyke lesbian there, sir. There's one thing I've always wondered. You know, in the news lately, they always talk about the gay couples and lesbian couples raising children. And I've always wondered if a teenage son whose moms are lesbians finds parents' sex disgusting. What do you think? You know, there was news today, once in a while, a lesbian actually has sex with a man, and it was happening in the news today, and the headline said, breaching a dyke.
Check, please.
Are there any gay guys in here? It's a rhetorical question, sir. You know, I came in the ale house last Christmas looking for some fruitcake, and there was plenty. Not to say that gay guys are out here all the time. Did anyone go to that gay pride parade? Anyone go there? You go to that? Yeah, you know that thing always left a bad taste in my mouth. I don't know. I never liked it. I thought about going down there dressed like this, but I didn't want to be the only ass clown, you know, in the biggest sausage fest of the year.
Where's that check?
Where's the check? Did you guys hear about that sausage eating kid? I mean, the hot dog eating kid, Kobayashi?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
What a weird thing to have an eating contest for. And then he goes to jail? Don't you think those guys in prison were waiting with anticipation? It's like, we got the fucking hot dog eating champion coming to prison? This is fucking great. And the one thing I thought about, of course, was it's the Japanese, and they've got these porn genres like bukkake and hentai, and now we got Kobayashi. So what about Elton John?
Yeah.
Remember when he sang for Rush Limbaugh? Yeah. I thought that took balls. You know, slapping against his chin repeatedly. So I got a question for you. If men are from Mars and women are from Venus, where the fuck are gay guys from?
Uranus.
Not my anus. And on that positive note, let's welcome up Jose, the spick in the back. Get this music, keep going here. Come on. On that positive note, well, thanks for coming out. It is called Old Town Clowns because the clown will show up later, I'm just warning you. And I got reminded of this because I ran into John outside, and he said, hey, I'm going to Walgreens. He says, you need anything? And I says, yeah, actually I do. I need a vat of gasoline, or Vaseline. So what? He goes, yeah, I got to get shit to take off my makeup later, you know. He goes, so what am I going to do? Explain that I'm not gay, but I have a clown as a friend? That works. So, Dwayne, I came up with so much material for you tonight, man. Let's give Dwayne a big hand for filming the show. I'm not going to say that Dwayne gets drunk, but we did this show a little while ago, and he filmed the front bar. Remember a couple shows when you filmed the women's restroom? You remember how we used to get drunk and watch that all the time? It was great, wasn't it? Oh, and comedians, if you don't want Dwayne to film your act, you're in luck because Dwayne's in charge. If you do want him to film it, tell him to take the lens cap off. It'll be okay. Dwayne is Bonnie Raitt's personal
videographer. She doesn't really know that yet, but I think at some point she's going to have something to talk about, and it's going to be in court. Is Johnny still there? There he is. Oh, this Corcoran's bar, the Irish bar, right? 90% of the people I hear in here don't even, it's fake Irish accents, right? But I was in here one of the first times I came in. Johnny was bartending this, and this definitely Irish guy was at the bar. And he spills a shot at Jameson right away. And Johnny gets all angry at him, get all puffed up. Takes a rag, wipes it up, and he goes, "You spill that again, I'm not going to pour you another one. That's it. Only one chance." But I hate these guys, because you hear these guys all the time with the accents, right? And it's like you're sitting here listening to their bullshit. And you know, these douchebags with their fake accents, all they want to do is stick their shrimp in your Barbie. That's all I got. Stick your shrimp in your Barbie. Is that better? So John and I have known each other for about, I guess, a couple months now. And when we were putting this show together, we were like toying with the idea of doing like old vaudeville type stuff, like who's on first, and it was the clown and the Jew. But I think he was kind of shy of saying he was the Jew. Because you know, you tell this to people and they go, "Oh, it's derogatory." Yeah, it's so derogatory. You know, Jews, they have it so hard. They can hardly even get a job. They can't break into show business. None of them have any money. They can hardly make it through law school. Actually, John and I have been involved with the same woman for years. His mother. He's a bitch.
Oh, that's a little.
You know, the thing is, though, you can play with his guilt. Because we actually are interested in the same woman. We are. And every time he's out cheating on me, you heard that, right? Every time he's out cheating on me, I said, "Hey, you coming out?" And he goes, "No, I gotta stay in, I've got the shits." So I think he's starting to feel a little guilty. What do you think? But we do have different tastes in women. But we don't have different tastes, we have different techniques. His technique is to act like, "Oh, I'm funny, but I don't know about sharing my feelings," and my technique is to shove my feelings down their fucking throat. They both work equally well, by the way. Little story I don't tell very much. I used to tell it a lot more, but when I first started dressing as a clown, doing comedy, you might wonder why I'm missing one leg, so I'll explain it. And what it was, I honestly feel with clowns, I've always been a big fan of clowns, and I feel that a clown is an evolutionary thing. You become that thing. And what happened is the first night, it was the middle of the winter, and I was doing a show down at Angela's down the street. And I was walking home, and it was in the middle of a blizzard, and I'm walking, and I've got my big clown suitcase and everything. I'm pretty much like I look now, except 2 legs. And it's blizzarding, and people kept crossing the street when they saw who was coming toward them the whole way home. I got home, it's like 0 degrees outside. So I got home, and I had one of those big, iron gates in front of my apartment house, and one in the back as well. And I got to the front, and my lock was completely frozen, so I couldn't get in. So I had a bright idea, I decided to go around back. And there was a 10-foot iron fence back there. So I decided to climb it. I pushed a couple of garbage cans up and jumped up there and went over the top, and it had spikes sticking out the top. And I threw my suitcase over first, what had all my props in it. It landed on the ground and everything spilled out, typical props, panties, fake dogs, dildos, clown stuff. So I jumped over the top, and I caught my leg. I thought I'd made it, but my pants leg caught. And I was hanging upside down by this leg, and it was 0 degrees outside, and I could not get off that fence. And I was screaming, loud as I could. And I could see neighbors turning on their lights and looking out and seeing me, and then turning the light back out immediately. Can't imagine what that would look like. So I hung there for a while, and I had to keep resting because I had a bad heart. And I'd rest, and then I'd go up and try to rip it again and rip it again. And finally, after about an hour, I got it started, and then the pants leg ripped, and I fell and landed on my head. with all my props sitting there. I got up and I got into the house, and I woke up the next morning, and clown paint all over the pillow, and I went out and collected my props. So that was the story of the leg. There you go. Now I've got a cork in my hat because I'm gonna get a mouse, and he's gonna live inside there. So maybe next time you see me, I'll have him. Thanks. You want to play or
So we used to have an open mic here on Wednesdays, and we did it for about, I think it was about 8 months.
It's Tuesdays.
Huh?
It's Tuesdays.
Oh, that's why it didn't work out. Fuck. It's the wrong day. Damn it. I gotta learn how to advertise. So we did it. It got rather successful after a while. We used to have the Second City people come over and pretend they knew how to do stand-up, and they would always fall on their face. It was always kind of funny. But we had a good time. We used to get good crowds in here, and then I had a heart attack. Ooh. And it was actually kind of funny. I made fun of it. Because I came back 2 weeks later, I was telling people, no, keep the show going, you know? I mean, I'm sure some of you know Prescott. Prescott, like, he took the show over for 2 weeks. But I came back after 2 weeks after the hospital, and I performed for Sabrina. That was my audience. Look at, isn't she nice? It's very friendly.
Very friendly.
Very friendly. The thing is about the heart attack. The thing is about the heart attack is I figured out, I mean, I have nothing. I got nothing. I got no assets. I got no car, no house, nothing. I figured out the solution to the health insurance problem is to have no insurance. Because you go in and it's like, oh, you got to do these tests? Ah, go ahead, he's free. Government's paying for everything, go ahead. So I racked up a bill over the last year around, it's pretty close to $200,000. And they would actually, it was funny because they would send me a bill and it would say like $200,000 and then it would say amount enclosed. Like, what the fuck? So they ended up giving me a defibrillator. There's this bump on my chest. And it's one of those things you see in movies where they zap people, you know, when they have a heart attack, but it's actually implanted. And it's kind of freaky because it's wireless and they can get into it with their laptop and stuff. But they told me also that if you're really having like really violent sex, it'll actually go off and zap your partner. So my goal is no longer orgasm. My goal is to electrocute the girl that I'm with, and she'll like, I've never felt anything like that. You know, maybe I can be closer down there, you know, so zap her down there where it counts, you know. Yeah, so I got, I'm figuring this thing is, the trouble with it is, though, is I think it's going to wake me up in the middle of the night to remind me that I'm dying. That's what it's there for. You don't die in your sleep. You die when you're awake. And I pretty much think this thing is going to be still working when I'm dead in my coffin, and my heart's still going to be beating because this fucking machine's attached to it. Aren't midgets funny?
There you go.
You know why they're funny? Because they're really short. I saw this story and I put it up on Facebook, and it actually happened in Thailand at a circus. And evidently there was a circus midget that was bouncing on a trampoline and doing tumbling exercises. And there was a hippopotamus yawning. And the midget went into his mouth and the hippopotamus just gulped him down. His name was Odd. I thought that was a bit odd. But the funniest part about it is that evidently when he got gulped down by this hippo, everyone started clapping because they thought it was part of the act. And they didn't open him up, you know, they would have said, oh, and then immediately we opened him up. I'm thinking everyone was just laughing their ass off, saying we didn't like that guy anyway. He's a pesky little midget. So I started thinking about midget stories that I know. And one of them was, I don't know if any of you know this, but back in the 80s they used to have midget tossing. Any of you familiar with that? You know, back when they had brought, the bowls and everything, they had midget tossing where they had like a harness attached to them. And you'd pick them up and you'd throw them as far as you could into this big, pile of pads and stuff. And right before you did it, the midgets would always yell at you, they'd heckle you and everything like, you're a weak piece of shit. You can't toss me at all, man. Fuck you, blah, 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 blah. And I had this friend of mine standing there like holding the midget and everything, getting ready like this. And this midget was extra mean. And he was up and he's like almost spitting at him and everything. And my friend looks down at him and he says, "You know what? I'm not going for distance, I'm going for height." And he did. Speaking of midgets, we have a midget actually here in the house tonight. My friend Gretchen. Stand up, Gretchen, take a bow. No, come on, really, stand up. Come on. You guys ever see those real dolls? You know what I'm talking about? You look up on the line, it's a real doll. And you can actually order these dolls to specification. It's creepy as hell. And they're like $5,000. I mean, you gotta really put out some cash for this. I mean, I'm pretty much thinking you're done with dating at this point. You know, you're gonna pay $5,000 for some, and it probably looks like some girl you knew in 4th grade or something. It's very fucking creepy. But I actually thought about it one time. Oh, and by the way, I want to say, if you're a woman, do not get fake tits, because they feel fucking weird, and it's like cutting them off. So now back to the real doll. These things are creepy. I was thinking, you know, and the whole thing is, the thing's weird about it is that you have to specify the hair color, the nail polish, the complexion, like they don't leave anything up to you. So it's like once you pay $5,000 for this fetish, you're done. That's your fetish for life. You know, you pretty much have a mortgage out on this girl that looks like some chick you knew in 4th grade. Why do I say 4th grade? That's fucking sick. I actually did this joke first time I did it, it was like 12th grade, and it keeps going down. So they also invented this thing in Japan called the fembot. Have you ever seen that? It's supposed to be like a maid, you know, that goes around and cleans shit up, and it's a robot. But you know the Japanese are thinking, we're going to have sex with this thing. You know, because we're tired of putting up with women's shit. We want a robot that, you know, it's just like the real thing. So this real doll stuff is like everywhere. I even thought about it when I went down to the American Girl doll store. You ever been down there? That's fucking creepy, man. They have like these American dolls that look like little girls that you've seen in the news and stuff. And I just couldn't help but thinking, I'm walking around, you know, and I'm thinking maybe they got like a John Benet Ramsey doll, you know, that has blood on the dress and ripped panties. I should have asked. Maybe they would have.
A little song, a little dance, a little seltzer in your pants. Fuck you, you fucking fucks.
Beautiful.
One moment, please. I'm doing a sweet song from Stephen Sondheim. I think you might know it. Ain't life a bitch? It's really unfair. Everyone's richer than me. I'm losing my hair. Send in the clown. I paint my face and wear big shoes. This shitty life as a clown is no pleasure cruise. Send in the clown. Just when I stopped chasing down whores, finally knowing it's your ass that I wanted for sure, making my entrance again with my usual flair, shit-faced again, nobody cares. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Fuck you, my dear. Where is the clown? Send in the clown.